Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Techie Code Buddy. I hope you're learning extremely well and your TCS NQT exam preparation is also going well. So guys, in this video, we are going to solve some questions from verbal ability. As you know that we are doing a continuous playlist for TCS NQT exam and we are uploading verbal ability videos right now. Very soon we will be uploading related to coding and aptitude as well, right? So in this video, we are going to solve the questions from 2023, 24, and 2025, and around one reading comprehension. And then we will solve from subject verb agreement, informal, formal languages, and closet test fill ups, etc. Right. So, this is the paragraph given. It is kind of a short length paragraph only. So, we can clearly have the idea or we can clearly scan the passage quickly. The Great Barrier Reef, located off the coast of Australia, is the world's largest coral reef system. Stretching over 2,300 kilometers, it comprises nearly 3,000 individual reefs and 900 islands. The reef is home to an extraordinary diversity of marine life, including over 1,500 species of fish, sea turtles, sharks, and various types of corals. It is considered one of the most important ecosystems on Earth. However, in recent years, the Great Barrier Reef has faced significant threats due to climate change, pollution, and coral bleaching. Rising ocean temperatures have led to widespread coral bleaching, a phenomena where corals lose their colors and become more vulnerable to disease. Additionally, human activities such as overfishing and coastal development have further contributed to the degradation of this natural wonder. Efforts are being made to protect the reef through conservation programs, stricter regulations on fishing, and initiatives to reduce carbon emissions. Scientists and environmentalists emphasizes the urgent need for global cooperation to preserve the reef for future generations. So this is about the paragraph. So the questions, let's understand what are the questions. Why is the Great Barrier Reef considered an important ecosystem? So it is clearly written in our this paragraph that it is working kind of habitat of diverse life. Like it is the it is useful for Iceland. It is useful for sea turtles, sharks, various type of corals, like different types of sea species. So this is the ecosystem. This is the habitat. This is the habitat of diverse marine life, right? Marine life related to the ocean related things or sea related things, right? So option number B will be the correct answer according to the passage. Let's move on to the second question. The second question is asking for which of the following is not a major threat to the Great Barrier Reef? Climate change, coral bleaching, overfishing, or increased rainfall. So if we see here that human activities such as overfishing and coastal development, and here coral bleaching and climate change. So these are the reasons actually, but what is not a reason? Increased rainfall. And there is no any discussion about the rainfall here, right, in that. So it is clear. Option number D will be the correct answer. Let's move on to the next question. What happens during coral bleaching? Coral changes color to attract fish. Corals lose their colors and become vulnerable to disease. Coral grow faster and expand their habitat. Corals become stronger due to increased sunlight. So here, if we see that in that it is written where coral lose their color and become more vulnerable to disease, right? So option number B will be the correct answer according to the passage. Moving next, what is one measure being taken to protect the Great Barrier Reef? Encouraging more fishing in the area, increasing coastal development, implementing conservation programs, and reducing marine biodiversity. So, in the last line, we have talked about some improvements or some initiatives to protect the Great Barrier Reef, and one initiative is implementing conservation programs. Right? This is the option number third is the correct answer for that. Right? Let's move further. So the next question is choose the appropriate option to complete the sentence. The sentence is the general could not gap his soldiers to march forward. Again, gap the lure of extra money and food. So it is something a condition where general like from army, right? The general has to make their army soldiers agree on something to march forward. To march forward means to go straight forward, right? In terms of military it is called march, right? The next is even they are offering them some, we can say bribe, we can say some extra money or extra food or something, still they are not agree for that, they are not agree for marching forward, right? So what can we put in here? The general could not persuade his soldiers. Persuade means to make someone agree to do something, right? His soldiers to march forward despite the lure of extra money and food, right? So even though the general is offering them extra food, extra money, still the soldiers are not agree to march forward. Option number B will be the correct answer here. The next question is, which of the following sentence contains a grammatical error? So these kind of sentences, these kind of questions are favorite questions of TCS, and you need to really prepare well from the previous year questions, and you need to make your concept strong. The first is, she is well prepared for the challenging exam. So there is no any kind of error looking like as such. She is well prepared for the challenging exam. It is absolutely clear. The professor and his student were discussing the new theory. So the professor and his student. See, we are talking about two people, right? The professor and his student. It is not or, right? There is no option. There is no option that either one of them. No, we are combinedly talking about these two people, the professor and his student, right? So we will use the plural form of verb. So verb is clear and verb is the correct, and this option, sorry, this statement is also correct. The next is, despite of his efforts he could not win the competition, and the next is, the company's success is because of its innovative strategies. So it is also clear. Now this is wrong. Why? Because it is looking like correct, but it is not correct. Why? Because see, there are two words, in spite of and despite. There is no any word despite of. Despite of is grammatically wrong, it is not appropriate, right? So in spite of is all okay, despite of is not a word, right, which is correct. So despite is the only word. Despite his efforts he could not win the competition, this would be correct, but despite of is wrong here. So option number C will be the right answer for that. Moving next, fill in the blanks with the correct word from the options provided. Okay, the negotiations have reached a gap where compromise is essential. So negotiation means like we usually negotiate our salary, we negotiate in relationships, etc. Right? So negotiation is kind of important part also. The negotiation have reached a, so here like by seeing the statement, it is absolutely clear that we are talking about a certain level, a certain occasion, a certain time, right? Where the negotiation has reached, and now compromise is essential, right? So for that we used to specify a word, and here juncture means a certain point, a certain occasion, a certain event, a time period, right? Juncture means that. Okay, so the negotiations have reached a juncture, right? Juncture where compromise is essential. So juncture will be correct here. Divergence means deviating from the topic, right? Deviation. So deviation is not correct here. Continuation means in continuation of something, and stagnation means stability, right? So if we are negotiating, so how we can stabilize, right? This is kind of contradictory. So option number 1 is the correct answer only. Let's move further. The next is, one part of the statement below may contain an error. Identify the error or choose no error. Okay. All the students of the class decided to head to the principal's office to complain for the new teacher's misconduct. So everything is all okay, but complain for is absolutely wrong here. Whenever we have to complain about something, so it is about something, right? Complain about something, this will shows the possession that the complaint belongs to that person. So complain for is wrong. Complain about the new teacher's misconduct, right? So this will be the answer here, option number C. Moving forward, one part of the sentence contain error again. Okay. Mr. Degley wanted her children to be, sorry, Mrs. Degley wanted her children to be hardworking, sincere, and punctual. So this is no, there is no any kind of error. It is completely okay. Mrs. Degley wanted her children to be hardworking, sincere, and punctual. Yeah, that's all fine. There is no kind of error. Let's move further. Again, from error, he had been married with a doctor for 5 years. So he had been married to a doctor, right? To a doctor is the correct word. With a doctor is not correct. Now you can see that we do marriage with someone, na? But no. With marry, always remember whenever there is something marry or marriage, right? You have to use to, right? So he had been married to a doctor for 5 years. So there the error is with a doctor. Okay. Now, again, this type of fill in the blanks are very popular in TCS exam. Read the passage and fill in the blanks by selecting the most appropriate option. So there are two blanks, one and two, and there are four options available for each one of them. You have to try your best for fitting in the options, right? The paragraph is sailing is fun, but it takes work and muscles to keep the sailboat moving, right? Sailing is means moving the boat, right? Sailing, sailor, Sindbad the Sailor, if you have heard the story of that, right? Sailing is fun, but it takes work and muscles to keep the sailboat to moving. One will have to constantly the weather, the weather and adjust the sails to turn the boat in required direction. Okay. So for blank one, these are the options available: search, scrutinize, check, or scan. So sailing is fun, but it takes work and muscles to keep the sailboat moving. One will have to constantly check the weather, right? The climate, the weather to adjust the sails to turn the boat in the required direction. Where the wind is blowing, all what are the other circumstances of the weather, etc. So one has to constantly check the weather. So check will be the required one here. Then it also takes a lots of efforts to raise the mast and sails before you start enjoying the freedom of exploring new places in your sailboat. So effort will be right one. So C and B will be the right one. So for one is C and second is B. Okay, so this option number C will be the correct option here. Let's move further. Again, most appropriate option for fill in the blanks. Okay, Shreya will keep working for you. Uh, Shreya will keep working for you. Gap. You are respectful towards her. The options are for as long as soon as. So Shreya will keep working for you uh, till the time of you are working for him. So for this, we will be using as long as. So as long as you are respectful for her, she will be working for you, or she is down towards for you, right? So as long as will be the correct uh, sentence here. Now, again, spot the error. One of the unreturned book was found in the parking lot. So you can think that it is correct, but no, it's not correct. The error lies here, the unreturned book. See, here, one of the unreturned book. Here we are talking about one book from multiple books, from many books, from a stack of books. One of the unreturned book. One of, out, like among one, right? Among many, one. We are picking up one. So it should be books, right? One of the unreturned books. From a collection of book, there is one book, right? So books, it should be the one of the unreturned books. So the need for improvement is here, that it should be books. All right, let's move further. The next is the following sentence pair can be combined into one better sentence. Choose the option that contains the two sentences without changing the meaning. So there is a sentence given, or basically we can say that there are two parts of a sentence given. We have to merge those two parts in such a way that the meaning of the sentence will not change and the sentence will be kind of best version, right? Okay. My mother made me join 7 different sports activities at the time I was just 9. So with this statement or with this sentence, it is clear that it is affirmative sentence. It is the just a sentence that someone is talking about a particular time that at the age of 9, I joined 8 sports based on my mama's suggestion or based on my mother's action, right? So there is no any condition, there is no any uh, condition, there is no any kind of purpose or anything, right? Anything complex, there is no anything exists. So the sentence is completely affirmative and kind of positive only. The options are: my mother made me join 7 different sports activities when I was just 9. So this sentence is clearly denoting the same meaning, but let's check further as well because we have more options. Because I was 9, my mother made me join 7 different sports activities. See, this is clearly telling that at that time my mother like made me join 7 different activities when I was 9. But this is not telling because I was like because of this, because of that. No, there is no any reason, there is no any condition, there is no any particular case. So it is the changing the meaning of that statement, right? And the bet here is that you should not change the meaning of that your sentence. So option number B will be eliminated just because of this because. The C is while I was 9, my mother made me join. See, that not a particular time period that when I was 9, right? So it is something not relevant in the context of this. The D is though I was 9. So this is not a condition, na? It is clear. So affirmative sentence, and it is absolutely we can say not a complex sentence. Just when he was 9, so he joined those all the 7 sports activities based on mom's suggestion. Right. Let's move on to the next question. Next question is based on again the sentence arrangement, and we are solving this type of question in every video. Now this is your homework, right? This is your homework where S1 and S4 are fixed, and you have to fit in two options here S2 and S3 at the place of S2 and S3 such that this complete paragraph will be a meaningful paragraph, and the options available are PQR. So among PQR, one will be eliminated and two will be fitted in S2 and S3. You have to tell in which way you have to fit in, right? So these are the options available, and I will pin the answer so that you can check your answer as well. I will pin the comment. You can check from there. Let's move on to the next question. Which of the following sentence use formal languages? So it is the favorite question of TCS. In TCS, they can ask you like which one is informal language, which one is for formal language. So in my every video, I have talked about the concept like how you can identify the formal and informal language. Formal does not mean that you have to use the complex IT sector word uh, terms, right? No, that's not like that. You can use simple words even, but the conditions are there cannot be a phrasal verb, there cannot be any idiom, there cannot be any interjection type of words, there cannot be even any slang words, any shortcut type of words like for anything like if I had to say, and I'm using that shortcut, right? So this not the appropriate way in for the communication in formal language, right? So for that, we need to identify which one is formal. Liven up the atmosphere, my friend. So my friend, just because of this friend, it is not formal, right? It is informal, so it will be eliminated. Hooray, he won the game. So here interjection is used, right? Interjection is used, so it will be eliminated. May I suggest you better option that will suit your style more. So it is looking like formal, but let's check further as well. Stop making excuses of your behavior. It is completely rude sentence, and rude is not a formal way, right? So option number C among these options available is correct. Let's move on to the next question. So the next question was, it was gap a new experience for me to attend a Zoom meeting, so I planned for it. And this is a repeated question. This question is repeatedly asked 2 or 3 times, right? So it was quite a new experience for me to attend a Zoom meeting, so I planned for it carefully, right? So option number B is the best fit answer here. Reasonably is not something that is relevant in the context of this, and it is all okay that it was really a nice experience for me to attend a Zoom meeting. So I planned for it terribly, like in the fear of something. No, it's not the correct in the context of this. Like it was surely a nice experience for me to attend a Zoom meeting, so I planned for it gently. Gently is not something that we can use for work, right? Gently is useful when we are talking about someone's behavior, when we are talking about attributes, but not to like when we are doing the work that we are doing, that is manually we are doing. See, Gently is useful for abstract nouns, right? Basically, it is useful for abstract noun. If you see the better options, let's move on to the uh, last question. Okay, so there are some blanks, and for each blanks, four options are given, and accordingly you need to fill up. Okay, all right. And this is kind of favorite question. Okay, once an elephant lived in a village. He got in friendship a tailor. Okay, so off, with, into, or by. So whenever we make a friendship, so we make friendship with someone, na? So with is the correct preposition here. Of denotes a possession of something. With denotes the relation with something, right? Into is a kind of movement in something, and by is useful in the transportation or by for denoting the time, etc., right? So once an elephant lived in a village. He got in friendship with a tailor. So option number B here. Now, the elephant used to go to a river for a bath. After drinking water and taking a bath, it would pass by a tailor shop, and the tailor would give it something to eat. One day, the tailor was in angry mood due to a quarrel with one of the customers. The elephant came as usual. Instead of giving anything to eat, who? Tailor. The elephant strung with his needle. So he options are split, assuaged, soothed, or pricked. So pricked is pinch, pinch a pin, right? Pinch a pin, chubo dena, sui chubo dena. So what Taylor did is he pressed his needle in the trunk of animal, uh, that elephant, instead of giving anything. Okay, all right. Here it made up its mind to teach the tailor a lesson. So the elephant thought that, okay, you hurt me and I will teach you a lesson. It went to the river, had its bath, and then filled its trunk with muddy water. So the elephant was quite mischievous. So what he did is, just for telling him a lesson that I can do so, and then filled what? Filled. Okay. After that, just a minute. The elephant. Okay. So the elephant felt the pain. So for that, we have a word that is agonized. That is agonized means to be in pain, right? To feel the pain. Okay. After that, then filled his trunk. So what? Filled up. Okay, filled up will be the correct option. That and then filled up its trunk with muddy water. It stopped at the tailor shop, because this is kind of a location, this is kind of address, that at the tailor shop, and emptied all the muddy water on the garments in the shop, and all the clothes were spoiled with mud. The tailor suffered a great loss. Now he felt sad for his misdeed, but it was too late. So this is how elephant teach him a lesson, that uh, you should not leave an impact of your someone's anger on someone's, right? So that was the lesson from the elephant side. And with that said, we are done with all the questions. I hope the explanation is clear to you, and these all 20 questions are going to be really helpful for you. Question for today, and here I have taken the questions from 2023, 2024, and 2025 batch also, right? So the first question is, so we have four options available, and these options are basically prepositions. We have to fit the appropriate preposition according to our question. Marshall showed cruelty his cat Tom. So as cruelty is kind of negative term, and we need to use the preposition, because Marcelo showed the cruelty towards his cat, right? Towards his cat, because we are referring the direction to whom the cruelty was shown. So it was shown towards cat, right? In direction to, in uh, it belongs to, right? So the cruelty is itself a negative term. So we will not use against, as against mean in opposition to. So they both are contradictory. Of we will be using in the sense of possession of something or belonging of something, right? And why basically used for referring time, and basically useful for referring that means of transportation, right? So towards will be the correct answer here. The next is meaning of sepulchral. Sepulchral meaning is extremely sadness, extreme sad. And in Hindi we say, so it's like samadhi type something. So it is related to extreme grief, extreme gloom, right? So gloomy will be the meaning of spectral, right? Gratified means one who is extremely happy, one who is extremely satisfied, right? Happy is happy, we know everyone, right? And quenched means to basically it is useful for thirsty, right? Like thirst quenched, right? Whenever it's like pyas bujhana, right? Whenever somebody is thirsty, so quench the thirst, right? This is what we use in general, right? Let's move on to the next question. So in next we have four sentences, s1, s2, s3 and s4, where s1 and s4 are given and they are fixed, and we need to fill these two blanks, s2 and s3, and three options are available. That means two fill-ups, but three options are available. So one will be eliminated, and we need to arrange them in a meaningful paragraph, right? So this is starting from the Hawa Mahal or Place of the Wind was built for the female residents of the Jaipur city palace, right? So here we are talking about the purpose of building Hawa Mahal in Jaipur, or we can say the Palace of the Wind. Basically, this was built for the female who were the residents of Jaipur city palace, right? So the next should be related to like we need to tell the purpose and we need to tell the cause of that, that why it happened, why that was built for the female. There is any specific reason? So if we see, and they could do in relative comfort as its architecture allowed cool air to pass through. So it is not fulfilling what we are looking for. Basically, we are looking for the cause of building that, right? Now, if we see the next, traditionally, the women of Jaipur wear scarves over their faces when in public. So it can be the next statement, but let's read further. So it gave the women of the city palace a place to watch the activities on the streets of the city without having to wear veils and scarves, right? So basically in Rajasthan, as we know that the culture is quite congested. Like I'm not quoted a controversial term, but it is absolutely clear that yes, in Rajasthan, that type of culture they are following is till now even, right? So if we see here, the Hawa Mahal or Place of the Wind was built for the female residents of Jaipur city palace. Traditionally, the women of Jaipur wear scarves over their faces when in public. It gave the women of the city palace a place to watch the activities on the streets of the city without having to wear veils and scarves. See, this is what like Hawa Mahal was built for the women. In the next line, we have told the cause of doing so, why we did so, right? And what was the advantage of that making the Hawa Mahal, right? So that the women who are wearing the scarves and who are having the long veils on their head, because they cannot see properly. So with that Hawa Mahal, right, they can live there and they can watch the activities having on the streets, etc. Now they vented ornate windows, the balconies provided passive cooling, keeping the interior more comfortable than the sun-baked streets, all without using any mechanical air conditioning devices. So this is kind of closing of the sentence. So the correct arrangement would be Q and then R, right? So QR, option number A will be the correct one. Moving forward, so the next is we have this closet test and we need to fill these two blanks. In first blank, we have to choose the option among these options: recycling, recycle, recycles, and recycled. And similarly, for the second, these are the four options available. All right, so let's read here. Compared with conventional agriculture, organic farming uses fewer pesticides, reduces soil erosion, decreases nitrate leaching into groundwater and surface water, and dash animal waste back into the farm. These benefits are dashed by higher food costs for consumers and generally lower yields. So if you're not getting any idea or any guess like how we should do so, how we should approach this type of question, directly see what tense they are using, in which tense they are talking about, right? So if we see here, compared with conventional agriculture, Organic farming uses fewer pesticides. Uses, that means present simple, right? Reduces soil erosion. Again, reduces, that means present simple or present indefinite. Decreases nitrate. Again, the first form, present simple, right? Nitrate leaching into groundwater and surface water. And now we can use the concept of parallelism. The concept of parallelism I am talking about in each of my video of verbal ability, because it is very, very important that you know the concept of parallelism. Parallelism is something, the verb we are using previously and in the left side as well as in the right side, right? So that verb will be used same here. This is called parallelism. And here if we use it, so and recycles. Recycle will be the best suited answer, or we can say option. So let's read. Compared with conventional agriculture, organic farming uses fewer pesticides, reduces soil erosion, decreases nitrate leaching into groundwater and surface water, and recycles animal waste back into the farm. Yes, this is well fitted. Now, here if we see, these benefits are increased by higher food cost for consumers and generally lower yields, or balanced, counterbalanced, or encountered. So if we see that for one, we have C, right? And if we see the option elimination technique, we can directly mark our answer that these benefits are counterbalanced by higher food cost for consumers and generally lower yields, right? So it would be the appropriate option among from these. All right, let's move on to the next question. The next question is, the following sentence pair can be combined into a single sentence. Choose the sentence that best combines the two sentences without changing the meaning. Okay. So we have this sentence and we have to arrange this sentence in such a order that the meaning of that paragraph, that sentence is not changed, and we can make it the best, right? The best version of the sentence. So if we see here, so the sentence is, Nikhil researched the topic well. He was able to do his viva voce well. All right. So if we see the options, so Nikhil researched the topic well unless he was able to do his viva voce well. See, the meaning should not be changed. So if we see in our statement or in our sentence that we haven't talked about any condition that if this will happen, then only this will happen, right? So unless is useful, unless the keyword unless is useful for denoting some condition, right? So in our statement, it is there is no any kind of condition, so it will be eliminated. It is not appropriate. Moving next, Nikhil was able to do his viva voce well despite he researched the topic well. So as we know that our statement or our sentence is pretty simple. There is no any condition, there is no any but blah blah blah, right? This is kind of affirmative sentence if in general we say. So despite is useful when we have to tell, despite is a negative term, right? And Nikhil researched the topic well, he was able to do his viva voce well, and our sentence is completely positive, positive vibe sentence. And here, despite is negative, so again contradictory, it will be eliminated, right? The next is, Nikhil researched the topic well, therefore he was able to do his viva voce well. So it will be the answer, because Nikhil researched the topic well. As the result, as a result, he was able to do his viva voce well. Simple. If you will learn, if you will read, you will crack the exam, right? So, because he took the action, he got the result. So this is what the correct sentence is. Now, the fourth is, Nikhil was able to do his viva voce well, although he researched the topic well. Although is not making any sense here, because although is kind of again something that although he did all the preparation yet he was failed, right? Although is something like that. कि उसने मेहनत की still यार वो fail हो गया, like that. But in our sentence, it is clear, like it is completely affirmative sentence. He took the action, he got the result. So option number C will be the correct answer. Let's move on to the next question. The next question is, again we need to find out the error, right? A high-end machine was inaugurated at the city's Institute of Medical Sciences, which will facilitate 3000 RT-PCR tests for coronavirus in a day. So we need to identify the error part. A high-end machine was inaugurated at the city's Institute of Medical Sciences. See, this is absolutely fine that at the City Institute of Medical Sciences, this is something what? This is something location, this is something address, and for referring address, we use at. This is all okay, right? So this is all okay. Now for coronavirus in a day, so it is all okay. Again, there is no any problem, which will facilitate 3000 RT-PCR tests. So we are talking about like that high-end machine will facilitate 3000 RT-PCR. So this is all okay. Now the error here is a high-end machine was inaugurated. Right, this should not be inaugurated, this should be inaugurated. The high-end machine was inaugurated. Right, we are talking about in past, so it should be the second form. So option number A will be the correct one. Moving next, the next is which one of the following sentence use formal language? And this is kind of favorite question of TCS closet test, or we can say fill up test, like fill in the blanks, and this formal language or informal language. These two are the most favorite part of TCS, and they are different from other exam, right? In other exam, you will not get these type of questions, but in TCS, you will be getting this type, right? Which one of the following sentence use formal language? Now, how you can identify whether the statement is in formal language or not? See, this is not mandatory that there will be heavy terms of IT industry, etc. There can be, but it is not mandatory that for sure the terms will be used. It would be simple and super clear. The complete explanation will be there, and what should not be there, or we can say what is informal language. Wherever the phrasal verbs are used, wherever the kind of some fascinating terms are used, wherever the small forms, or we can say, I would say acronyms are used. And one more thing is what I should say, that kind of interjection type of words are used, like hooray, alas, right? So these terms are not formal; these are informal. So these like this is how you can identify. So the first is this presentation takes the cake. So takes the cake. It is idiom. So it idiom again not a formal way of representing any communication, right? So this is informal. So it is not the correct answer. Shall we put this on our agenda for the next client week? So it is something related to your office type of work, etc. But see, shall will not be used whenever we are asking a question, right? Shall is not used. Shall is wrong here. If it is so, so it should be a will, right? So shall is not appropriate here. Now, the third is I apologize for the technical glitch that occurred during our webinar yesterday. And here the next is I am disappointed with the sales figures they need to look up. So to look up is again a phrasal verb, right? So it is informal, and it is absolutely clear that it is completely formal. I apologize for the technical glitch that occurred during our webinar yesterday. There is no any phrasal verb, there is no any idiom, there is no any shortcut form, etc. So it would be the correct one. Let's move on to the next question. So this is from the reading comprehension part, and for reading comprehension, very soon I will be making a one-shot video where I will discuss all the rules and all the shortcut tricks, and I will be taking 3 reading comprehension. The video will be of long duration, I know, but 3 reading comprehension I will be taking. One is of easy level or of long length. Then the next will be of medium length, and the next will be of long length, right? So that we can have the idea for each of the type of reading comprehension, how we have to approach, how we have to save time, right? So, okay, this is kind of medium level paragraph. Let's read it. Just skim the passage and head over to the questions. Then we will identify all the things. Okay. It is apparently humankind's fate never to stop writing the history of pandemics. No matter how often they occur, and they do occur with great frequency, we collectively refuse to think about them until circumstances demand it. Then, when the immediate crisis passes, we put it on our minds as quickly as possible, and so we again and prepared when we the next contagion. In this case, COVID-19 burst upon us. Richard Conniff traces this alarming cycle in how devastating pandemics change us. This month's cover story, it examines our long relationship with infectious disease from the hard lessons we have been forced to learn, the brave and often difficult characters who have been risked their lives to save us. So, with the help of first paragraph only, we can easily conclude that in this paragraph we are talking about, or in this passage we are talking about the pandemics, right? Like periodically they occur, and every time we just face it, and then we used to forget about it, right? So now this time we have COVID-19. Like this question was asked in 2022, so from 2021 part of COVID-19 wave, this question has been given to us, right? Okay. Now in the next paragraph, they are talking about the smallpox. Like they have taken an example of again a pandemic, that is the smallpox. So in that they are talking about that. In next they are talking about some new thing, like, and yet here we are again, like again new about coronavirus, etc. And the fourth line is very simple. Okay, now head over to the questions. Which statement is correct according to the passage? Research about vaccine is not reliable. All pandemics are not to be feared. Pandemics keep occurring periodically. There is no solution for a pandemic. If we say, if we see here again, like we haven't talked about any vaccine, right? Researching about vaccine, we haven't talked about anything in our passage, so it cannot be the answer. The next is all pandemics are not to be feared. See, pandemics are had to be feared, right? So it is not correct. Again, pandemics keep occurring periodically. Yes, with the help of passage, we are telling that first we have smallpox, now we have coronavirus, now we have this. So it is absolutely clear that periodically we have these pandemics, we have these viruses, etc. Right. So option number C will be the right answer according to the passage. Moving next. The next is in the fourth paragraph, which pandemic is the author referring? Okay, so this is the first paragraph. Uh-oh. This is the first paragraph, this is the second paragraph, this is third, and this line is the fourth paragraph only. It is an important question for our planet. While we debate, the next pandemic draws nearer. Right. So actually, they haven't disclosed any pandemic name or any virus name that is coming. So it is kind of an unknown one only. So option number one will be answered here. Smallpox we have talked about in second. COVID-19 we have talked about in first paragraph only, and I guess cholera we haven't talked in any paragraph, right? If I am clear. Yeah, I think there is no any discussion about cholera. So it would be an unknown one, because in the fourth paragraph, or in the fourth line here in the fourth paragraph, we haven't disclosed the name of our upcoming pandemic. Okay. Now, what does the writer imply that we should do? Again from passage, be vigilant about hygiene and health issues. What is the meaning of vigilant? Vigilant means health conscious, who is positive to their health, right? Wear mask when we step out of our homes, wash our hands and everything we touch carefully, maintain social distancing and avoid public gatherings. So what does the writer imply that we should do? See, these all the things are more specifically for COVID-19. But according to our passage, the writer just want to make sure that kind of he is making us aware to the pandemics, and he is generalizing all the improvements, all the precautions that we should take for. So option number A will be correct, that be vigilant, we have to be health conscious. If you will read the complete passage now, you will get to know that in general we are talking about the pandemics, that you should take care of your health, you should take care of your hygiene, so that you can easily fight against that any pandemic. Okay. Moving next, the next is fill in the blanks with the most appropriate set of words from the option given below. This should be what. It is what. Okay. What did the painter do? Dash himself from falling. When he felt the ladder, dash he grabbed the gutter to save himself from falling. And this question is repeatedly. This is kind of three times this question was asked. I still remember. Okay. What did the painter do? So what did the painter do? So it should be, see, if painter will do something for like if he is falling, right? If he is falling, so there should be some purpose to save himself, right? So what he will do? So, and whenever we have to denote any purpose, we use for, right? So the for is the correct preposition here. What did the painter do? For saving himself, because there is a purpose for saving himself, right? So for saving himself will be the correct fill up here. When he felt the ladder begin to slip, he grabbed the gutter. So as soon as he realized that the ladder, he's standing on ladder, right? And as soon as he got the idea that okay, this ladder is like has begun to slip. So what he did? So uh, he grabbed the gutter to save himself from falling. So it should be the correct answer. For saving and begin to slip will be the correct one. Right, let's move further. Identify the segment in the sentence that contains a grammatical error. Okay. By the linking of the rivers, it is proposed to provide a continuous supplies of water to those parts of India where there is a shortage. So if we see the first part, by the linking of the rivers, it is all okay. By the linking of the rivers means one river is there, suppose one river is there and one river is there, and we are linking them, right? So it is all okay. It is proposed to provide. What is the purpose of this? It is proposed to provide. We have a purpose, and the purpose is a continuous supplies of water. The continuous supplies of water, there should not be any kind of what I should say, scarcity of water, right? So a continuous supply should be there to those parts of India where there is a shortage. So everything is okay, but the thing is, continuous supplies, it is wrong. It should be a continuous supply. It should be a continuous supply. It is not a verb. It is something, a purpose, and continuous supply will be the correct answer. So, a continuous supply. In this part, the error is, and the error is that supplies should be replaced by supply. Moving next, again the question is from informal language and formal language. Which of the following sentence does not use informal language? That means which of the sentences in the formal language? Simple. Did you locate our office easily? So it is okay, but let's read further. You will be working with different managers during your training. So again, it is looking like we can say formal only. But see, whenever you have more than one option that are informal, again you need to check that which one is more appropriate or which one is more formal. So that you have to mark for, right? The next is, we shall endeavor to inform you that the position in 2 weeks time. Is there anything else you want to ask? So it is completely informal, right? Or in general type. Again, it is all kind of general type, and these two are kind of formal, but again, if we compare in these two, so C1 will be the most formal sentence. Let's move further. The next is, select the most appropriate option to substitute the underlined segment in the given sentence. If there is no need to substitute it, select no improvement required. Okay. So these flowers smell sweetly and are sold at high price in the market. So we need to reimburse it if need so, right? So yes, there is a need. These flowers smell sweetly. These flowers smell sweetly. So flowers are plural. How we can use singular? Sorry, this is okay. The verb is all okay. These flowers smell sweetly. The verb is all okay. Sweetly, right? Sweetly is not correct. Sweet will be used, right? Sweetly is an adverb. Sweetly is an adverb, and we will not use adverb here. We will use, these flowers smell sweet, are sold at high prices in the market. Okay. All right. The next is, in the given question, a sentence is given with a part of missing and represented by a blank. Okay. All right. So a short hour long drive for the Doon Valley. For the Doon Valley, Missouri is a charming little hill station gap at an altitude of 80 meter in the Garhwal Hills. Okay, so a short hour long drive from the Doon Valley, Missouri is a charming little hill station that is cocooned at an altitude of 80 meter in Garhwal Hills. Cocoon. See, here we have used cocoon for sheltered and protected, right? uh, Cocoon is taken from that butterfly and cocoon only, right? When in the birth stage of butterfly, see, I'm not from biology side, but I in like in orally I can tell you that whenever the newborn baby butterfly is there, so they form a larva and then cocoon, etc., right? So this is something, cocoon means something which is covered and protected, something which is sheltered and protected. So this is what here the mean is. And yeah. Okay, so let's move further. The next is, the below question contains a paragraph of six sentences. The first and the six sentences are given in the beginning and end, numbered 1 and 6 respectively. The four sentences in the middle jumbled and labeled PQR. Okay, so first and six statements are fixed, right? The first and the six statements are fixed, and you need to identify the correct arrangement of PQRS, right? So if we see that in 1857, the fighting broke out all over the country. So we are talking about the event. We are talking about an event that in 1857, a fighting broke out all over the country, right? Then what happened? We have to talk about that, right? Or else we have to talk about the reason for that, right? So if we see, everywhere the people rose in rebellion. So as a result of this, right, it can be the next statement, but let's mark it. Okay. Next, in March 1858, British troops attacked the fort at Jhansi. See, just after telling about 1857 and without any telling the reason, without telling any reason or any purpose of that fight or any result of that fight or any cause of that fight, how we can start directly from 1858, right? So Q will not be the next statement. So this is how we can eliminate B and C, right? Now what we are left with, S and P. Okay, so in 1857, fighting broke out all over the country. The British fought back. Like the British fought back. This is okay, but in against of whom, right? We don't know here. So what we have to talk about, either the result or the cause or the purpose of that fighting. So if we see, in 1857, fighting broke out all over the country. Everywhere the people rose in rebellion. So as a result, everyone was in rebel, right? So P will be the next statement. After that, again, it is clear from options that PSRQ, but again, let's try to arrange them. Everywhere the people rose in rebellion. Now, the British fought back, right? As a result, the British fought back. So PS. Then here, thousands of people were killed on both sides. So from that side and from that side, as the war was from two sides, so from that and that, both the teams were killed, right? So R will be the next, and then we can talk about the next year. In March 1858, British troops attacked the fort at Jhansi. So it would be the PSRQ. Option number A will be the correct answer. Let's move on to the next question, and we are wrapping up now. Which sentence follows correct subject verb agreement? Okay. The group of students is excited about the trip. The group of students are excited about the trip. The group of students were excited about the trip, and the group of students have excited about the group. See, here we are not talking about students. Here we are talking about collection of a student. So if we are talking about a collection or a group of students, it would be considered as singular, right? We are talking about a group, not all the students, right? You are getting my point. The group, a group. Okay, so we will use the singular verb no matter in which sentence. So the group of students is excited about the trip will be the correct subject verb agreement, and subject verb agreement is really important. Being next, okay, which verb correctly completes the sentence? Each of the participants given a certificate after the event. So here again we are talking about among many, pick one. Each of the participants, like there are many participants, and each one of them, right? We are talking about Now we are targeting a particular one, right? Each one of the parties. Okay, so here as we are talking about individuals from the like from the all participants, so we will be using the singular form only. So each of the participants was given a certificate after the event. Now the next is identify the sentence with incorrect subject verb agreement. The news is quite shocking. News is always considered as singular, no matter that here we are using s or not, right? There is no any singular, there is no any plural for that, and the verb is always used as singular. Now the next is the committee decides on the budget every year. Why we have used decides? Because committee is what? Committee is something, a group of people. So again, a group of people, na? So for one particular thing that is countable, we use first form, sorry, that es or es wala verb, right? The next is the bouquet of flowers smell wonderful. Here we are talking about the bouquet of flowers, not about the flowers, right? The bouquet of flowers smells wonderful. It should be smells wonderful. So option number still will be incorrect, or the correct answer for this question. Mathematics is my favorite subject. So yes, mathematics. We have this word mathematics, not mathematic. Okay, so mathematics is a word and it is singular. So we have used is. It is all okay. So the error lies here, and it should be smells wonderful. So yeah, that's all for today. We have solved 20 questions. I hope each of the question explanation is clear to you. But still, if you have some doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. So the very first question is, this is kind of a favorite question of TCS, that whether a quite of medium level paragraph there will be, and there will be some fill ups, right? You need to fill them. There can be 2 or 3 fill ups, there can be 5 to 6 fill ups, there can be even 10 fill ups. But fill in the blanks are really very important for your TCS exam. Okay, all right. So we have 4 options available, and we need to fill these blanks with the appropriate option. So as WHO, that means World Health Organization, and partners work together on the response tracking the pandemic dash on critical interventions, distributing vital medical supplies to those in mind, they are still dash to find a vaccine. So it's kind of, I guess, 2022 question, because this is after the pandemic COVID-19, right? And as WHO and partners work together on the response tracking the pandemic. So if we see that the tense is in present, right? And here we are using the action verb of ing form, right? So the tense is in present and the action verb is tracking. That means ing form we are using. Again, now if we see moving further, again here we are using ing form. And in my previous video, I have discussed that if you are seeing the same type of verb form again and again, so there will be parallelism concept, right? You have to use the parallelism concept. So according to that, you need to fill the verb form. So again, here we will be using the ing form only in this blank, right? Moving further, if we check, so vital medical supplies to those in mind, they are still. So again, there should be some ing form. So if we see, and if we see the options, so ing and ing, only option number 2 is available. But still, we will check by fitting over there, right? As World Health Organization and partners work together on the response tracking, the pandemic. So the first action is tracking the pandemic. The second action is advising on critical interventions. Then the third action is distributing vital medical supplies to those in mind. They are still raising to find a vaccine. So yes, this is the best appropriate option that is fitted here, right? So I guess it is clear to you. Let's move on to the next question. Which of the following sentence does not use informal languages, right? This is one of the favorite question of TCS, like 1 or 2 question at least will be there in your verbal ability section every year, right? And this is for sure something different in TCS exam, that not in Accenture, not in Infosys, not in Capgemini and other exam. I have never seen this type of question. But in TCS, every year I see 2 or 3 or 1 or 2 question at least from this type of question. And this is very, very clear. Just 2 or 3 things you have to keep in your mind, and you can hit the right answer, right? And what are the things? Let's first understand. Either they will ask you for formal sentence or they will ask you for informal. Here, what they are asking? does not use informal languages. That means the sentence that is completely formal, right? Now understand what is the meaning of formal and informal. Formal means there should not be use of any slang words, there should not be use of any fascinating word, there should not be any use of shortcut form, right? Shortcut form. And there should not be any use of phrasal verbs and kind of genji terms, right? That we used to say, like anything. Not getting in my mind right now, but it's kind of not so fascinating, not so crazy terms, right? We used to be professional. And professional does not mean like you have to use complex type of words, you have to use the professional type of words only. No, no, no. It can be a simple sentence, the English can be very simple, but the thing is it should be not in phrasal verbs, it should be not in shortcut form, it should not be in zenji terms, or it should not be indirect term, right? This should be clear in crystal. Now let's identify which sentence is completely formal here. The first is, the professor's lecture was way over my head. So by seeing professor's lecture, you can thought like, oh, this is the formal sentence, but no, it is not the formal sentence. Why? Because here we are using way over, and way over is not something that is formal. It is the informal way of representing our thoughts, that the lecture that is delivered by the professor is not clear, right? The professor is not well explained the lecture, right? That's the meaning of that. But way over is not the formal term that we use to informal, right? So way over will be eliminated. I mean option number A will be eliminated. Moving forward, B is, can you pick up ice on your way back? Again, pick up is the phrasal verb, right? Pick up is the phrasal action verb. We will not use here. Again, it would be eliminated. Sorry, I could not come up by last night. So it is something looking like straightforward, but here we are using come by, and come by is again a phrasal verb. That means like we are talking about a particular time, that last night I could not come, sorry for that. But again, why last night, it is not something that is completely formal, so again it will be eliminated. And option number fourth, sorry I could not attend your party last night. So it is simply clarifying the scenario that I could not attend your party last night in direct sense, so it would be the formal, right? Let's move on to the next question. Spot the error and correct it. Okay. My grandmother always go to school with me because the school is attached to the temple. So by seeing this sentence, you people can think about like, attached to the temple is not something that is correct according to the grammar. But it is okay. Suppose this is temple. My drawing is not good, so nobody will comment on me, right? This is the temple and this is the house, and they are just attached, right? They are just combined together. So attached is not something that is not grammatically correct, right? It is all okay. Okay. Beside we can use, but attached again we can use if the wall is same, right? If the wall is same of the temple and the house, or maybe they are just attached to each other, right? It is completely okay. The error lies in this part here. My grandmother, because grandmother is singular, and with singular we use singular verbs, right? So here we are using plural verb form, right? So it should be goes. The error lies in here, and the error is, my grandmother always goes to school with me. It would be the correct answer. So option number A will be the right option here. Moving next, find the word which best expresses the meaning of the given word, or we can say like kind of synonym or kind of the actual meaning of the word. August, right? It's not the month August, right? It is August. So August means someone who has a lots of respect, who has a lots of fame, right? So it would be dignified. Yes, dignified. Common, who is usual, who is regular, who is not very popular. It isn't common, it is in general, right? Ridiculous, that something is kind of very silly, that is not making any sense, senseless things, right? Dignified, full of fame, full of reputation. Pity is small. Pity is small, a small pity, a small piece of information like that, right? So dignified will be the correct option over here. Move on to the next. Again, this type of question, sentence arrangement question or sentence ordering question, we can say it is again a favorite part of TCS, where there will be in total 4 sentences. 2 sentences will be fixed, the initiate one and the last one, and two you need to pick among 3 options available, right? You need to put 2 sentences from 3 and you have to make a meaningful paragraph. So again, it is talking about COVID-19. So we can say it is a kind of 2022 question. Okay. Now, COVID-19 spreads mainly among people who are in close contact within about 6 feet for a prolonged period. So, in the first initiating part, what we are talking about, we are talking about the spreading of COVID-19, right? So, in continuation of this, we should be talking about the spreading only, or we should be talking about in more elaborate way about COVID-19 and spreading power, right? So, and the last one, that is kind of conclusion of this, is since people can spread the virus before they know they are sick, it is important to stay at least 6 feet away from others when possible, even if you or they do not have any symptoms. Okay, so it is the last sentence for this paragraph. Okay. Now, if we see the options available, PQR. So after this, because we need a kind of continuation of sentence about spreading. So let's understand or let's read it. Social distancing is especially important for people who are at higher risk for severe illness from COVID-19. See, it is not something that is related to spreading of COVID-19, because in the initiating part, we have discussed about the spreading of COVID-19. So we should elaborate it further, right? So we will not take as a second, but we will mark, let's, okay, after some time, we will try it again. Move further. Spread happens when an infected person coughs, sneezes, or talks, and droplets from their mouth or nose are launched into the air and land in the mouths or noses of the people nearby. That would be the next statement. Why? Because in the first, we have just initiate that that is something spreading the COVID-19 or like that. Now, in the next sentence, we are elaborating, we are explaining in deep that this is what spreading means, this is what how spreading uh, performs in action, right? So COVID-19 spreads mainly among people who are in close contact within about 6 feet for a prolonged period. Spread happens when an infected person coughs, sneezes, or talks, and droplets from their mouth or nose are launched into the air and the land in mouths or noses of people nearby. So the next would be Q. Now we can use the option elimination technique, Q, Q, Q. So D would be the right answer. After that, R should come. Let's put it here. Here we have talking about the droplets, right? Droplets launch into the air, etc. When we sneeze or like in cough we are dealing with. So the next should be the droplets can also be inhaled into the lungs, because suppose here I am and I'm suffering from fever, cold and cough, and if I sneeze, so some droplets will be launched in the air, right? And if there is somebody, and when they will inhale the oxygen, so the germs will be inhaled through oxygen, right? So that is what the mean is. The droplets can also be inhaled into the lungs. Then since people can spread the virus before they know they are at risk, it is important to stay at least 6 feet away from others when possible, if you and they are not even having symptoms, right? So QR will be the appropriate option for this paragraph. Let's move on to the next question. All right, fill in the blanks again. Information defined as a collection of symbols which combined communicates a message or intelligence. So directly we have 4 options available. Just check one by one, right? Information can be defined as a collection of symbols. Till now there is no any problem. It is kind of all suited here. Which where combined communicates a message or intelligence. See, where will be refer to a place or something, to a location or something, but information is not a place or something or location, right? Information is a kind of independent thing. It is not related to a place, it is not related to an address or location. So where is not the appropriate preposition in sense of information. So this option will be eliminated. Moving next. Information should be defined as a collection of symbols which combine. So again and again, which it would be not correct, right? Option number B is also eliminated. Moving forward, information can be defined as a collection of symbols which, when combined, communicates a message or intelligence. So it is all okay. It is all set that in when combined, right? Information can be defined as a collection of symbols which, when combined, जब इसको कंबाइन किया जाता है तो फिर ये एक सेंटेंस को डिलीवर करता है या फिर एक मैसेज को डिलीवर करता है, राइट? So it is something that is all fine here, and it is absolutely clear, right? So yeah, let's move on to the next question. Again, this sentence may contain an error and we need to find out the error. All right. So this part is from subject verb agreement. So you should know the rules of subject verb agreement, right? Either Rahul or Rohit, it should be accompany, right? It should be Y. The last one is Y. Okay. Either Rahul or Rohit accompany their grandmother and grandfather whenever they go to the hospital. See, the rule of subject verb agreement says that whenever you are dealing with either or, because either or will always come together, right? So either or, whenever there is some either or, neither nor, or not only but also, so always remember that the verb will be used according to that which subject or which is near to the helping verb, right? So here if we see that either or, sorry, either or we are using either Rahul or Rohit accompany their grandmother. So Rohit is near to the verb, right? Near to the verb, and Rohit is singular, so we will be using the first form of verb. That es in form, right? Singular verb we will be using because we have here singular person. So we will be using the verb accordingly, that either Rahul or Rohit accompanies their grandmother, right? In between of these two, one will go there. One will go there. So we are talking about one person. So we will use the singular verb form here. So the error lies in either Rahul or Rohit accompanies their grandmother or and grandfather. This would be the correct. So error is in first part, option number A. I hope it is clear to you. Moving next. Here, spot the error and correct it. There is no doubt that this is the most difficult but disrupting year that many of us will ever have experienced. All right. So the error is quite small error only, but this is something here we are talking about a particular year, and we are specifying the quality of the year, that what kind of year it is. And whenever we need to specify a quality of something, we need to specify the property, we need to specify the attributes of something, we use adjectives there, not the action verbs, right? So this disrupting is not correct. This should be disruptive, right? This should be disruptive. It should be R, disruptive. Okay, so disruptive will be the correct adjective here because we are specifying the quality of the year, we are specifying the property of the year, what kind of year it is. So it would be the correct, right? Option number A will be the correct. Moving next, the exotic remedies for some illness have been from generation to generation in the tribe. Okay, so first let me tell you the correct answer. Handed down will be the correct answer. Now, what are the meaning of all these phrasal verbs, right? All these are the phrasal verbs. Now, handed down means kind of inherit something, right? From one generation to another generation or in the next generation, something is handed down, something is inheriting, right? It is kind of biologically, right? Handed over is uh, when someone has the possession of something. Possession means to have something. When someone has the possession of something and they're handing over to someone else, right? Giving that possession to someone else is called handed over. Like I'm handing over my charge of being a principal to my sub principal, or like that, just taking an example, right? So having a possession and giving it to other is called handed over. Handed in means we can say, just a minute, let me see. Handed in, it is something submitting to something document, like submitting an assignment or like that. Refers to submitting something, submitting an assignment, submitting a project report or something. Handed out when a particular person is giving some kind of information to many individuals, like from one person to many, from one person to many, and it is in the sense of kind of information, kind of some communication. So handed down, right? So these are the all meaning, and handed down will be the correct option in the sense of this question. Moving next. So this is what, again, blank and blank 2 we will have, and in blank 1 we have 4 options available, and again in blank 2 we have 4 options. So we need to fulfill 2 blanks from these 8 options, right? Okay. Melting glaciers add to rising sea levels, which in turn increases coastal and elevates storm surge, as warming air and ocean temperatures create more frequently and intense coastal storms like hurricanes and typhoons. Specifically, the Greenland and Antarctic ice sheets are the largest dash of global sea level, right? So here we are talking about some kind of riverine area or sea areas, like seaside, or we can say inshore and onshore and inshore, right? Shore side, samudra ke kinare, right? Ocean side, river side. Here we are talking about that. Sorry. Right. Now, melting glaciers add to rising sea level. We are seeing that we are using here the present form of verb, and we are using the action word ing form, right? Melting glaciers add to rise sea levels, which in turn increases coastal erosion, eroded, corrosion, corrode, right? Eroded and corrode are not going to be correct according to the grammar. Erosion and corrosion. So erosion, which is in natural, it is kind of something related to natural assets, right? Erosion. Erosion. So coastal erosion, for option like for blank 1, option A will be the correct. Now, elevates etc create more frequently and intense coastal storms like hurricanes and typhoon. Specifically, the Greenland and Antarctic ice sheets are the largest destruction of global sea level rise contribution or contributors. So they are contributors of those, right? The like these kind of, what I can say, natural disasters like hurricanes and typhoons in seaside, specifically the Greenland and Antarctic east, are the largest contributors. These are the main cause of these global sea level rise, right? So these are the contributors, these are the reason for that global sea level rise. So A and C will be the correct option. So option number A will be the correct answer for this question. I hope it is clear to you. Let's move on to the next question. Okay. All right. Which of the following sentence does not use formal language? Okay. So here we need to talk about when we are using informal language, or in which sentence the informal language is being used. So here we will be seeing, okay, in a short time we will serve refreshment. So there is no any phrasal verb, there is no any shortcut, there is no any short form, genji terms, or etc. Everything is clear. In a short time we will serve refreshment. It is formal. Okay. Welcome abroad. To operate your seat belt, insert the metal tab into the buckle and pull tight. So it is like it is the line where which is when used in airlines, right? In aeroplane when we are traveling in flight. So this is kind of something that the announcement happens, right? So it is again completely formal. Now, the third is, we would like to thank you, folks, for flying with us today. So it is informal because here we are using this informal terms, folks, right? So whenever we are communicating in formal way, we will not use folks. We will use everyone, right? We will use, or in some professional terms like everyone. Thank you for everyone for flying with us today. That is okay. But thank you, folks. Fox is some completely informal. So just because of this fox, it is informal. So it would be the correct answer for this question. Again, let's check further as well. This is the final boarding call for passengers Neha and Mohit Sahani booked on flight. This is this to Kansas City. Please proceed to gate 3 immediately. So again, it is completely formal, right? Sorry, it is completely, yeah, it is completely formal. And what we need to find out is informal, right? So it is the option that is right here. Okay, let's move further. Fill in the blanks. After a few minutes, the Ganpati bus will pass Now we need to fill up with the preposition a tunnel. Okay. So after a few minutes, the Ganpati bus will pass in a tunnel. No. See, tunnel is something that has two ends, from one end to another end, right? From the initiate end to the last end. So when we use when something is within a enclosed surface and it is not in the movement, it is not moving, right? But here the bus is moving, right? So we cannot use in, it would be eliminated. Now under is used when something is moving, and in the sense of when something is beneath of something, right? But the thing is that should be enclosed within surface, right? That should be properly enclosed. But when we can use under, we can use under the table, under the bridge, right? So from like in that we can use. So now after a few minutes, the Ganpati bus will pass through a tunnel from one end to another end. Or when we use through keyword through keyword, I'm saying, when we use three preposition. So we use like from whenever we need to complete something from one end to another end, like you need to complete, you need to go through with the complete course, like from the beginning, from until the end. You need to complete the course, then only you can be uh, sit in the exam, or you can crack the exam, like that, right? So through will be the appropriate preposition here, and it would be the correct answer. Let's move further. The next is, one part of the sentence below may contain an error. Identify the error. Okay. In the evening, Bhushan took his seat on the window of that empty house. In the evening, Bhushan took his seat on the window of the empty house. No, you will sit on the window. No, it is not correct. It should be by the window, right? It should be by the window. So answer is on the window is not correct. It should be by the window. Now, this question you have to tell tell me in the comment section. Like, this is your homework. Moving next, the next is, and we are kind of about to wrapping up, right? Fill up. There are many jobs where deal with situations. Therefore, companies must ensure that proper safety dash are in place to protect the workers from any injury. Okay. So according to the option, we are kind of having only one keyword and different forms, right? There are many jobs where deal with hazarding situations. Hazarding is not grammatically, so it will be eliminated. Now the next is, there are many jobs. So many jobs, that means plural. So we have to use the singular kind of verb, right? So hazardous, hazards, hazard. So there are many jobs where deal with hazards. It would be eliminated because we have a plural. So we cannot use that s wala verb, right? So option number A and C has been eliminated. Now there are many jobs where deal with hazard situations. That's okay, we can put it here. Therefore, companies must ensure the proper safety gears are in place. Safety gears, no, it is not something that is appropriate here, right? So again, it would be eliminated. Option number 2 and simple. We know that hazardous means is kind of dangerous, some kind of situations, right? So there are many jobs where deal with hazardous situations. Therefore, company ensures the proper safety measures. It is completely clear to you that safety measures, it is kind of common terms we use in our daily lives also, are in place to protect the workers from that. So option number B will be the answer for that. Okay. Now moving next, do you remember seats for the theater tomorrow? Yes, I have the tickets here. Do you mind it with you? I fear I may lose them. Okay. Do you remember to have booked seats for the theater? To have booked? No, it is not grammatically correct, right? We are talking about the present. And here we are talking about to have booked. It's not correct, right? It would be eliminated. Now, do you remember booked seats for the theater? Here we are using the present verb form, and here we are using the past form. It is not correct. Option number B will be eliminated. Now, do you remember booking seats for the theater tomorrow? Yes, I have the tickets here. Do you mind to keep it with you? It is all okay. Do you mind to keep it with you? Now, if we see the option further, do you remember to book seats for the theater tomorrow? Yes, I have the tickets here. Do you mind keep it with you? This is not good. Or this is not, I should say, this is not appropriate. This is not correct. Do you mind to keep? Because there is some purpose. You have to keep it with you because I may lose them. So there is some purpose. We have to use to for attaching that, right? Do you mind to keep it with you? So to keep is there in option number third. So this would be the correct answer for this question. I hope it is clear to you. So yeah, that's all for today from my side. We will meet in the next video. Till then, bye bye and take care. And I will send this PPT in my Telegram group. So do join the Telegram group. And I hope all the questions are clear to you. Still, if you have doubts, you can ask me in the comment section. I will reply for sure. So let's meet in the next video. Till then, bye bye and take care.